Since the first two roads were built, we've been trying to solve one problem. How do you get from this road to this road? It sounds simple, but as roads got bigger and cars got faster, intersections became the weak link in the system. They caused delays for drivers, and despite being a sliver of the entire road network, account for half of injury crashes. That's why engineers keep reinventing them. And in the last few decades, a wave of new designs has started popping up across the US. Some of them strange, some of them brilliant, and all of them changing the way we drive. Let's start with the roundabout. Roundabouts have been common worldwide for several decades, but they only started gaining real popularity in the US in the last 20 years. Chances are you've driven through a roundabout at this point, but you might not know why they've started showing up everywhere. First off, they're safer. They reduce fatality crashes by 90% and injury crashes by 75% compared to a traditional intersection. This is because the shape of a roundabout forces everyone to drive slower. So even when crashes do happen, they're usually pretty minor. Meanwhile, at traditional intersections, the only thing preventing serious high-speed crashes from happening is people following the traffic light or stop sign. Just one person not paying attention can result in much more serious consequences. But they're not only safer, they're also efficient. Traffic moves continuously through a roundabout, as the only time drivers have to stop is yielding to traffic already in the circle. If there isn't any, drivers can continue on without stopping. There's never anyone sitting there for no reason, just waiting for a light to turn green. Roundabouts don't solve every traffic issue though, as they can only handle so much traffic volume. While most roundabouts in the US are simple one-lane roundabouts, many places are beginning to build multi-lane roundabouts to bring all of the benefits of a roundabout to intersections that need higher throughput. This might seem like it's just asking for chaos, but they're designed in a way to direct traffic exactly where it needs to go, as long as drivers follow their lane markings. Before you approach multi-lane roundabouts, you'll see signs that show you what lane you need. Then, once you enter the roundabout, you stay in your lane, follow the arrows, and as long as the roundabout is designed correctly, it will guide you to the correct exit without having to change lanes. The key here is to stay in your lane once you're in the roundabout. Crossing over solid lines like this means you're doing something wrong. The cost effectiveness of roundabouts is another reason for their increasing popularity. Although they may have higher initial construction costs compared to a traditional intersection, their lower maintenance costs with no signals to maintain, reduced crash severity, and improved traffic flow often make them more economical in the long run. All of this is why roundabouts continue to pop up all over the country. But the next one isn't quite as common yet. This is a Diverging Diamond Interchange, and while it might look confusing from above, it actually makes a lot of sense to help improve efficiency and safety. Interchanges in general function to get traffic on and off a highway. A traditional interchange looks like this: 4 ramps meeting at 2 intersections. These intersections have traffic going straight through, traffic getting off the highway, and traffic getting on the highway. All of this creates a mess of conflict points where crashes can occur because of traffic crossing paths. Traffic turning left has to wait for a gap in both directions if the ramp is controlled by a stop sign, or a traffic light has to stop everyone to allow for those left turns. Some also have to include a left turn arrow phase for traffic getting on the highway, adding even more delay. This is where the Diverging Diamond comes in. The design flips the middle section of the interchange, so traffic ends up driving on the opposite side, and as a result, left turns are no longer an issue. Traffic entering the highway no longer has oncoming traffic and can flow freely, and traffic exiting the highway just needs to turn onto the road already going in the same direction. The traffic lights at the intersections where the road flips only requires 2 phases, back and forth between the 2 directions going straight, as all of the turning movements are already taken care of elsewhere. Not only does this allow for shorter wait times, but it also improves safety. The design of the Diverging Diamond cuts the number of conflict points nearly in half, and it eliminates some of the most dangerous maneuvers, like left turns across high-speed oncoming traffic. As a result, Diverging Diamonds have been shown to reduce injury crashes by about 50%. And just like how Diverging Diamonds cut out dangerous conflict points on the road, you can do the same thing with your personal data online. That's where today's sponsor, Incogni, comes in. Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is out there. Your name, address, phone number, even your family members are scattered across people search sites and data broker databases. And once it's exposed, it can be used for scams, identity theft, or just endless spam. Incogni takes care of that for you. With just a few clicks, they automatically reach out to hundreds of data brokers to get your information removed, saving you hundreds of hours and giving you peace of mind. They keep following up to make sure it actually gets removed and stays removed. And with their unlimited plan, you also get custom removals. This means if you Google yourself and find your info on a site, you can submit the link and their team of privacy specialists will work to get it taken down. Unlimited requests handled for you. You can take your personal data back with Incogni. Use code Streetcraft at checkout or go to incogni.com/streetcraft and get 60% off an annual plan. And thanks to Incogni for sponsoring this video. At this point, we've covered roundabouts and diverging diamonds. But what happens when you combine them? This interchange in Missouri took both designs and combined them into one interchange to create what they call the Divergabout. From above, it looks like total chaos, but similar to both the roundabout and the Diverging Diamond Interchange, it's designed for efficiency and safety. This half of the interchange works exactly like a regular Diverging Diamond Interchange, with traffic flowing like so, along with a signalized intersection at the crossover point. On the other side, things get a little weirder, and it's all because of this frontage road that runs parallel to the highway. Originally, there were two intersections right here next to each other. This is never ideal as it requires careful coordination between several traffic lights and creates additional delay to incorporate all of the different movements with different phases. So instead, they combine the two into one roundabout. This looks confusing, but let's break it down. Through traffic moves through like this, while traffic entering and exiting the highway moves through like this. If we zoom out, we'll see that while the geometry of the road is a little funky, its functionality is nearly identical to a regular Diverging Diamond Interchange. However, since this crossover point is part of a roundabout, there isn't a traffic light. Drivers just yield to traffic already in the circle, and that roundabout makes it possible to keep full access to the frontage road, allowing traffic to flow smoothly in all directions. Driving through it is pretty straightforward. There's plenty of signage and lane markings, and traffic flows well, reducing delays for drivers. But this isn't the kind of design you're likely to see everywhere. The Divergabout solves a very specific problem, creating an interchange that also needs to incorporate a frontage road. It's a clever fix, but a pretty particular use case. That's why, so far, there are only two in the whole country, both just outside of Kansas City, Missouri. The next intersection design is called a continuous flow intersection, and the design allows all left turning and straight through traffic to go at the same time. Here's how it's done. Any traffic wanting to turn left at this intersection waits way back here at a separate traffic light. Their light turns green a few seconds before the main intersection turns green, allowing them to cross the lanes of oncoming traffic back here ahead of time and begin making their way towards the intersection. And by the time they arrive, the light immediately turns green and they can turn left without having to deal with oncoming traffic. This allows those left turns to go at the same time as the traffic going straight. During those extra few seconds it takes for that left turning traffic to get from here to here, traffic in the other direction can continue to move through the intersection, which helps with overall efficiency. Right turns are also slightly modified, as they get their own lane that must go past the whole left turn area before joining back into the road that they're turning right onto. It's not too difficult to drive through, you just have to get in your lane ahead of time if you're turning left, follow that lane, and turn left once you reach the intersection. However, it doesn't come without its downsides. Continuous flow intersections take up a lot of room. They also make it difficult and uncomfortable for pedestrians to cross with several steps that aren't always timed together, meaning you could be standing in the middle of the intersection waiting for the next phase. If you haven't noticed by now, one of the main issues that all of these intersections are trying to address is left turns. They're one of the most dangerous maneuvers for drivers and also create delays by having to allocate time specifically for them. That's why this road in Michigan doesn't allow them at all, and instead replaced them with an entire synchronized system of U-turns instead, and as a result created a safer and super efficient road, which this next video dives deep into how it works.